Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Playtech TV. My name is Kevin, and today we're checking out the Logitech G302 Daedalus Prime Moba Gaming Mouse. So let's jump right into it with the specs on this beast. So it's coming with a 4000 DPI optical sensor, 1000 Hz polling rate, metal spring left and right click tensioning system, which is really cool, and we'll talk about that a bit later. On the fly DPI adjustment, 6 programmable buttons. It only weighs 87 grams, so coming in at a very low weight. Size wise, it's coming in at 115 millimeters by 65 millimeters by 37 millimeters. And price wise, it's $55 currently at Playtech with a 2-year warranty. So looks wise, it's really small, low, sleek, a bit angular, and overall pretty minimalistic. It's pretty clear the design was to be kind of plain, and that's not always a bad thing. Some people don't really like the very extravagant and intimidating gaming mice, so this one's good for those people, although they have spiced it up with the lighting at the rear, which is blue and by default is on a breathing mode, which looks quite nice. But the most perplexing thing about this gaming mouse is that it's perfectly symmetrical, which would mean that it might have been designed to be ambidextrous, yet they added 2 buttons on the left hand side, making it a right hand only gaming mouse. It just blows my mind. I don't know why they did this. They could have made it ambidextrous so easily, but for whatever reason it's not, so sorry for you left hand mouse users out there. Now comfort wise, this it's kind of funny. It's kind of hit or miss, so some people love it and some people hate it. Personally, I thought it was just average. It's not so much, I think, about your grip type, because I personally think it's more made for palm grip users, although other people tell me it's more made for claw grip users. So, but overall, I think it's more dependent on your hand size more than anything. So it's probably best to try it out first before you go ahead and buy it. Now, accuracy and sensitivity. So it has its 4000 DPI sensor, which I talked about earlier, which is pretty good. It's pretty standard as far as Logitech go. All of their sensors are pretty good. The only issue I have is that it might not be enough for some high DPI users out there. So when I'm playing first-person shooter type games, I usually set my DPI to somewhere between 2000 and 2500. However, if I'm playing a MOBA game, which is what this mouse was designed for, then I will usually raise it up quite a bit. And with this, I was putting it, 3600, 3800, sometimes maxing it at 4000. And I don't really even consider myself that high of a DPI user in terms of setting all my gaming mice really high. So it might be lacking a little bit for people that like to have theirs set to really high amounts, over 5000 or something like that. I think it would have been safer if they included, say, a 6400 DPI sensor instead of the 4000 DPI sensor. However, if that doesn't matter to you and you usually set your DPI to like 800 or something, then it is very accurate, very good, and it shouldn't cause you any problems at all. Moving on now to the buttons and the scroll wheel, and we'll start with the on-the-fly DPI adjustment button. Now I actually find this to be quite useful, though a lot of people complain about it. I think it's cool because then you can just have it set to however many DPI settings you like to have, and then when you're doing that task or switching games, say from FPS to MOBA, you just hit that one button and off you go. So I find it quite useful. Now the scroll wheel was just pretty average. It's nice and grippy, but it's nothing to really write home about. And it's a similar affair for the side buttons here. They're nice and out of the way, I'll give them that much, but overall they feel just okay. However, the main event that redeems it all is the right and left mouse click buttons, which I said earlier features their metal spring tensioning system. They feel fantastic, very predictable, very precise, and they just give you really nice feedback. I was very impressed by them. They feel fantastic during your MOBA games such as Dota 2 or League of Legends, but they still feel great when you're playing other games like first-person shooters and stuff as well. They just feel absolutely fantastic. Now, additional features, it comes with Logitech software, which overall I thought was pretty decent. It's very straightforward, very easy to use, although it may be lacking some of the customizability that more advanced users would want, but overall I thought it was pretty good and much better than Corsair's software. The other thing some people are going to have an issue with is the fact that the cable is rubber. So I personally like a braided cable more, but it's not the end of the world that it's a rubber cable. Yeah, braided makes it look more premium, but it's not that bad that it's a rubber cable. So in conclusion, what do I think? So the design, it's going to depend on the person using it, because some people are really going to like it and some people are going to absolutely hate it. So I suggest trying it for yourself first. Overall, personally, I thought it was just okay, but other people might like it a lot more and think it's, you know, completely fantastic. Now, as far as the sensor goes, I thought it was absolutely great, although, as I said earlier, I think it would have been safer if they included a higher DPI sensor in it, just for those users that require it. It just would have been a better idea from my point of view anyways. However, if you're not a high DPI setting user out there, then it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, the right and left mouse buttons, as we've just said, were tremendous, and that's one of the biggest redeeming factors of this gaming mouse. They are just so nice to use, especially in MOBA games. And overall, I just think this mouse is really good for MOBA games, and if that's your main game type that you play, say your main game you play is Dota 2 or League of Legends, then I would really recommend this mouse, because it does those games very, very well. And it does other games okay, we'll just say that. Like FPS shooter games, it'll still do them okay. But if MOBA games aren't your main game that you play all the time, then I probably wouldn't recommend this, and I think the G302 would probably be better as an all-rounder. But if MOBA games are your thing, then yeah, I would really recommend it. It is absolutely fantastic. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching this video. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to Playtech TV if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.